All right. Hopefully this goes well this time. Right, here we have my altar, my sewing altar. So I'll give you all a peek at that. I hope everyone can hear me. I've been having some technical issues. I've tried to film this video a few times, but hey ho, here we are. Sewing evening. Emotions are running high. The spirits are flowing. Hopefully not the liquid variety, but the veil is thin. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at what I've got on my altar. We have a statue of Merlin over here. Lord Merlin. There is the goddess Hecate, and there's the goddess Hecate again. So these are two different statues for Hecate or Hecate, however we want to pronounce it. There's the Aura Jade, I think that was. Wolf form, that's for Hecate. There's a statue of Sekhmet over here. There's some offerings over here for the goddess Hecate. So there's pomegranate, there's garlic, so fruit and veg are good offerings for the goddess. There's just my chakra candle over here. There's a few of my wands on here. Organite wand, there's a black phantom quartz over here. There's a few charms or spell pouches there. There's my obsidian skull over there. There's a hagstone over there. There's a clear quartz, lapis wand, all sorts really. There's a statue of Thoth over there, or Tehuti. There's a bust of Apollo there with a candle quartz in his head. The selenite tower. There's feathers. So there really is all sorts on here. Then there's one of my cat's toys over here, bless her. There's a malachite lion figure over there. There's an angel rose quartz figure over there as well. There's some dragon stones on there. There's an abalone shell. There's my organite dragon. There is rowan leaves. There is oak leaves as well. So these are some of the things that I have gathered on my altar today. Okay, so I'm going to pop the phone in the holder, and I'll attempt to guide us through this sewing ritual. All right, hopefully all goes well this time with the stream. So please just bear with me a moment while I just double check that we are still streaming. Gosh, because I've been having a crazy evening with these YouTube streams. All right, so it looks like we are streaming. Brilliant. All right, thank you. If you've been trying to watch the stream earlier on, I apologize. I think I did figure out what the issue was, but hopefully we're not having that same issue now. That is what I'm hoping. Cecilia says hi. Hi, Cecilia. Okay, so let me just make sure. Am I in view? Yep, good. So we have the altar in view over here. Altar, so we'll be using that. So basically, what I want this ritual to be, it's a way for us to tune into this special day where the veil is at its thinnest on sowing, which is the third and final harvest of the year. So it's believed by many traditions, Samhain is an ancient Irish festival. However, it has been kind of adapted and stolen and transformed into what is now known as Halloween. Okay, but witches and pagans and druids, we celebrate this as an actual festival, and even some Christians and Catholics celebrate it in their own way, because they have All Hallows Eve and All Souls Day, but it's essentially still the same festival. Okay, but the important thing is, in this festival, we want to connect with our ancestors and loved ones and spirits who've gone before, or spirits who have passed beyond the veil. So, to work this magic, this ritual, we want some items from our ancestors, from our loved ones. So, these can be special mementos, tokens, things that our loved one has given to us, or it can be pictures, it can be writing, it can be anything where there's some form of connection and there is an emotional connection with you and that other person. So I'll show you what I mean. So over here I have, oh, let me see, can you see me properly? All right, so over here we have, oh, that's a bit better. You can see me a bit better now. Okay, over here we have one of my nana's wallets. So my nana, or grandma, as some people would call it, or grandmother. So I have a little purse here from my nana. Let me see, do I have anything else in here? So there's one of my nana's watches, or grandma's watches, in there as well. So I like to keep some of these things stored together. Okay, so that is a personal item. So this is going to help me make a connection with my grandma's spirit. Okay. Kathleen Klein says hi. Hi, Kathleen. I hope you can all hear me now. I was having some issues earlier. But yeah, so the other thing that we're going to need is a cauldron for this ritual. So if you don't have a cauldron, do not worry. You don't need an actual cauldron. It will still work if you just use a bowl. So you can use any bowl from your kitchen and you can still work the magic that way. Because the thing to do with magic, it's not what you use to work magic with, it's all about your intention. So if you're setting your intention to use your kitchen bowl in a completely brand new way, then you're setting that intention and you're going to make that magic happen. So anyone can work forms of magic. You don't have to class yourself as a witch. You don't have to class yourself as a pagan or a magician or any other label. Everyone can work some form of magic. So it just takes a bit of practice, and everyone needs to start from somewhere. So on this day, on this sacred holy day, it is one of the best times to get started with magic. And because literally magic is all around us, our ancestors are all around us. They come beyond the veil, they come through to us, they come and visit all of their family, their loved ones, their friends. So this is why it's such a special day. And this is why if we work rituals like this one, it will just help. It's kind of like a nod or a wave to say hello to our loved ones and to say that yeah, they're welcome and they come and visit us. Okay. So the next thing you need was a cauldron or a bowl. I have some salt over here, salt that is used as well in this ritual. So we've got a few mementos, personal items for which connect us to our loved one. So I've got a little diary over here. So this little diary, this was also my nana's as well. And I have a necklace here. This necklace was gifted to me by my nana as well. So all of these things, personal items, things that has been gifted to us, things that even if it's a necklace that we wear, it was still chosen by that special person and it was gifted to us with intention. So these have an emotional connection to that other person. So this is another item that I will be using. And over here I have another. So this is just like a little toy. It literally came out of a Happy Meal. Must have been like over 20 years ago. But my nana kept it because she liked it. This was like one of the Disney movies that we'd watched together, and for some reason my nana really liked these little Siamese cats. And when one of her grandchildren had got it in a Happy Meal, she'd kept it as a little ornament. So now I keep it in the same way because it's an ornament and there's that emotional connection there, so I can use it. Okay. So I also have, over here, I have my handy pumpkin. As you can see, it has not been carved yet, but I will be working on that tomorrow because I've had an extremely busy day today. But don't worry, this the ritual that we're working. This is kind of similar to carving a pumpkin. It's the same intention is there. When we carve a pumpkin, put a candle in it, it's to welcome in our ancestors and to scare away the unfriendly spirits and welcome in the loving and kind and gentle spirits. So that is the pumpkin. So that's not going to be used in this ritual. All right, over here I have my charging plate. So this is optional. If you have a charging plate, you can use it. If not, just use your bowl or cauldron and just a regular tray. So the tray is, we're going to pop the cauldron or bowl in the middle of the tray, and we're going to pour magical items, such as salt. Salt is going to be sprinkled around it. Okay, so if you can see that. So we're going to sprinkle salt around it. Okay. So these items are going into the cauldron. So pop them in the cauldron. Oh, did that go in? Yep, it's in the cauldron. Brilliant. So the items are all going into the cauldron. So if you like, the items that you put in, you can add in items from multiple loved ones. So if there's other spirits that you want to welcome in, you can put other items in there. But I feel like, for me specifically, I'd really like to connect with my nana's spirit on this day, because it's a special day, because obviously it's sewing, so it's a holy day. The veil is thin, and my nana meant the world to me, so she's a really important person, or she was a very important person in my life, hence why I've chosen to welcome her. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down a minute. So we have a regular tray, we have a bowl or a cauldron, we've got the personal items that we've then put inside the cauldron. So if you have a charging plate, you can pop that on the tray underneath the cauldron if you like. Right, next I have some other optional items here. So like I said earlier, I'm not sure if you heard that or not, or it may have even been in a different stream because I've tried this video a couple of times today, technical issues. But over here on the altar, we have some water. So water is a very spiritual element. So it helps connect us with our ancestors and the spirit world, basically. So when we have water on our shrine or altar, it connects us to the spirit world. Okay, so that is there on the altar. Also, I've got a little jug or bowl, whatever we want to call this thing here. So I'm gonna pop a bit of rum in here, a bit of rum, because rum, it pleases the ancestors. Okay. So if there is a specific offering that you'd like to give to your ancestors, it doesn't have to be rum or whiskey or alcohol. If there's something else, if you think they prefer wine, you can give them wine. If you think your ancestors really love chocolate, you could give them chocolate. If your ancestors really love cigars, if your loved one really loves cigars or cigarettes, you could give them those. So offerings are the offerings that you choose. It can be specific to your ancestors, but it doesn't have to be. So I've chosen white rum just because it is a generic offering which is good to give to the ancestors. Okay. But I also sealed it shut, so I'm having some trouble opening it now. Oh dear. On to the next technical issue. Oh my god. Bullshit. Excuse my French. All right, so we have the rum. The lid is off. We're going to pour the rum into the little libation dish. So we have our libation for the ancestors. That can then go on the altar. If you like, you could have a bit of the libation yourself. Right, so I'll just have a small amount. Ooh, damn. Oh. I'm not really a rum drinker, and I certainly don't usually drink it straight, but hey ho, it's for the ancestors. Okay, so over here, I've got some. So we're gonna put salt around the cauldron, the bowl, or the cauldron, whatever it is. So salt is the item that is needed to make this ritual happen. So it's basically creating a protective barrier around your focal point, which is the personal items and the cauldron. So salt is a must-have for this ritual. So you can use any form of salt. I also have some cascarilla here. So if you can see that, cascarilla, it makes a cool, smoky powder. It's a fine powder which is made from dried eggshells. So if you have some cascarilla handy, if you're a seasoned witch, if that is the sort of thing that you have around already, then you can use cascarilla, pour that around with the salt. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. I also have some obeya powder here. So obeya powder is a mixture. So I've kind of added to it. I've kind of changed it a little bit. In the obeya recipe, I believe you added myrrh to it. But a witch friend of me, because I was making this recipe for other people, so other people was going to be using it, I put them in little packets, and I was putting them on my stall at these holistic fairs and selling them that way. But because myrrh has quite a high frequency energy, it's quite a strong and energetic resin, so I switched it, made a little switch, and instead of putting myrrh into this mixture for the obeya powder, I put copal in instead. So it gives it a lighter energy, and it's more accessible to people who are on somewhat of a lower vibration. Or doesn't mean they're negative, it just means they've not done all of the spiritual work. They're not an uber witch, they're just your everyday person. Okay, so we have our blessing powder here. So let me see. I think I may have the recipe written down in here. I can give you quick read. So these are my magical recipes. Do I have a Obeya here? So this was supposed to be a quick ritual, but it doesn't look like I've written it. I've definitely written it in this book. So please just bear with me one moment while I find the page where I have my magical recipes. Black cat oil, 10 commandments powder. So yeah, so there's a few recipes here. A Satan Begone powder, that could be useful for some people. So lavender, hyssop, salt, bay, vervain. So it says sprinkle around the room, person you are uncrossing. So it's basically to banish bad vibes or bad energies or beings, entities. Where is the one that I'm actually... Obeya Black Arts powder. Obeya powder. Finally found the recipe. So the original recipe for Obeya powder is myrrh, patchouli, galangal, jasmine, rose, and lemon. So I made a switch for my version. So instead of myrrh, I put in copal just because it's more accessible for everyday people. Okay. So just if you were wondering, that is the recipe for the Obeya powder. But I'm guessing not everybody's going to have galangal and stuff like that hanging around. So don't worry if you don't have that. So this is just an optional extra. The salt is the main thing that we need for this ritual. So let me pop this back over here and we can make a start. Okay, so over there is some sewing candles. They were blessed by another witch friend of mine. They were made by this other witch friend. So I can take this hat off now. It was just meant to be worn for the introduction of this video, but we're halfway through it. So yeah, sewing candles over there, they were created by a friend of mine, and they've been anointed with Hekatean oil. I can show you what that looks like. So the Hekatean oil, you can get it on Amazon. That's literally where I got it, or similar places. Some spiritual, metaphysical stores may have some of it as well. So if you can find it in the metaphysical store, then great. If not, you can either make your own or just get some on Amazon. That's easy. Okay, that's where I got it. I do like to add a bit of saffron to mine, just to give it a bit more oomph and a bit more kick. So I've used that, I've anointed the candles. So let's light these sewing candles, okay? Light the candles and then we can get on with this ritual. Okay. Right now I feel like I'm lighting the black flame candles. They kind of do look like black flame candles. Gosh, look at that go, that's burning. I've just actually thought I should have probably cast a protective circle first. Oops. But we can do that now. It's no biggie. Okay. Actually, there's some Palo Santo here. Okay. So let me use my wand. So this is a wand that I made from willow. So we'll just quickly cast a quick circle. The circle is cast. I am here. Present be hope, gone be fear. What I sow, so shall I reap. Mine to give and mine to keep. Truth and honour light my way, past, future, and today. So the best way to make a quick circle is to say a rhyming couplet similar to like the one that I've just said, and just visualize like a bubble of light surrounds you. So you can either visualize it as a big bubble which surrounds you, or you can visualize it as light forming a strong ring around you. So either way, we're creating a protective circle. So the circle has two uses. It forms a protection around you, but it also forms a vessel or a container for the energy that you're going to raise while you're making your ritual or magic. So magical circles are used for two reasons. Okay, so just taking a moment to visualize the circle around you. Okay. Okay. Right, so once the circle is cast, so next I want to say a few words. It's just a blessing which I like to say at the beginning of a ritual. So on this day at this hour, I invoke the goddess and god, you who are pure in your intent, aid me in the spell. By earth and water and fire and air, strengthen this spell, by which is both past and present. Of my blood, not of my blood, strengthen this spell. Help my heart to be pure and my crafting joyous, my hands short and steady, and my mind open to receive your wisdom. Thank you. So let it be. Okay, so that's just a basic opening spell. Okay, so next, let's go to... So before I go into the so next I do actually want to pour our powders around the cauldron. So I'm just going to do that now. So you may not be able to see this as it's all the way over here, but it's just follow the verbal instruction. So we're pouring a circle of salt around the cauldron with the personal items inside. So we're pouring the circle of salt onto the tray. So you can use any salt at all, whatever salt you have. So I believe I'm using rock salt. You can use Himalayan or table salt if you don't have any other salt. Okay, so the salt is on. So we've got the circle of salt around the cauldron. Next, I'm going to do a bit of a circle of cascarilla. Perfect. And lastly, I'm just going to add the Obeya powder. So Obeya powder is used for drawing in kindly spirits and for banishing not so kindly spirits. So this is good. So this is, in a way, this is kind of like hoodoo. Okay, so we have now the circle of salt and the extras if you have those. Okay, and next I'm going to light the Palo Santo. Let's cleanse the cauldron and cleanse ourselves. If we can light the Palo Santo. Palo Santo. So cleanse your space. Does not appear to be burning very well, that Palo Santo on it. Let me light it with the lighter a bit more. Burn for me, burn. Hello, fire drakes. Let's get this Palo Santo going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So just cleansing around the cauldron, cleansing around yourself, around your head, around your feet, all around your body, around your space. Just a quick cleanse. It also helps if you have other incense burning as well. It will help to cleanse your sacred space. Okay, so we have some nice Palo Santo burning. So you can fan it onto yourself as well. Ooh, careful, try not to do what I just did. I literally just touched it. But luckily I did not burn myself. Alright, so pop that down. Now we can get to the actual ritual. So we've got, I'll show you what it looks like over here. So this is what we have. Oh dear. And my laptop went to sleep. Oh dear. Oh, it says the battery's low. Alright, never mind. We will carry on. We'll carry on. Okay, so the Cauldron of Ancestors. So this is what this ritual is named. So this is a ritual that I've written myself to honour my ancestors. So we've gathered around tree, we've placed inside the cauldron our personal items which connect us to our loved ones. We've made a circle around the cauldron, around the tray. So you can add seashells if you like. I've not really got mine to hand, but that's okay. So we've put a circle of sea salt. I've added cascarilla and a beer powder. Okay. Okay, so once you've got to this point, you can then begin to chant and just set your intentions. So we wanting to focus on the veil, we want to focus on our loved one, and we want to focus on reaching them through the veil and welcoming them to be with us and to make us feel their presence. Okay. Okay, so just taking a moment. Okay, I'm just going to double check that we're still recording. Yep, we're recording as far as I can see. Gosh, this is a bit of a wild live stream, but oh hey. Okay, all right, so focusing now. So we've cast a protective circle, we've prepared the spell, we've lit our sewing candles. So if you don't have sewing candles, it's fine, you can use any candles, tea lights if you like, or any form of candle. The main thing is if you use some form of magical oil. If you've got Hecate oil, that's brilliant. If you don't have Hecate oil, you can use any form of oil which connects with sewing. So this is like oils like pine, patchouli, or what is the other one? I'm trying to think. Lavender would be a nice one as well. Hmm. I kind of stumped myself there because I'm thinking of something else. I've forgotten what it's called. Cypress, that is the one, cypress. Cypress essential oil is really good as well. So if you have any of these oils, you can anoint your magical candles with them. If not, if you just have something basic, even if you don't have any oils whatsoever, you can still carve a rune onto your candle, or you can write a name with a needle. You can do that if you like, and you can just seal whatever you've carved onto the candle. Seal it by literally just licking your thumb and rubbing that onto the candle, and that will seal in the magic. But if you've already anointed the candles, then you can. Oh, gosh, it's sparking. But yeah, if you've already anointed the candles with oils, magical oils, then you can skip that step if you like. Okay. All right, so just taking a moment now to connect with the veil, to connect to our ancestors who we love. So you can place your hand over your heart just so that you can be present in the moment, more coherent, more connected to your feelings, your love, your emotion. Okay, then you can repeat after me. Across the generations, back when sand was many living creatures, father of fathers and mother of mothers, from your blood to mine, we are linked by an unbreakable connection that remains unhindered by time. From blood to blood, from spirit to spirit, the powers of my ancestors I'm born to inherit. So on this sewing night, we welcome in the ancestors, we welcome our loved ones. Please be with us. Please help us to feel your loving presence. This we ask for the greater good of all concerned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In Hecate's name, so be it. And so it is. And then here, I'm just going to chant the Ephesian letters, which is a sacred verse, which is sacred to the goddess Hecate. Aske kataske eron orion aior mega samye bowie fabantia semne. Aske kataske eron orion aior mega samye bowie fabantia semne. Aske kataske eron orion aior mega samye bowie fabantia semne. Aske kataske eron orion aior mega samye bowie fabantia semne. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return, like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return, like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return, like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. So breathe through this moment. Breathe in and just feel the love, feel the connection to the goddess, to spirit, to your ancestors, to your loved ones. And this is where I will leave that ritual. So you can sit with this ritual, feel the presence of your loved one for as long as you like, and speak to them. You could write them a letter if you find that helps. If you don't feel comfortable speaking to them, you could pray if you like. If praying's your thing, pray to a higher power. But yeah, the most important thing is that you take some time to honor your loved ones. So think about times you spent together, and yeah, think about the special connection between each of the items that you've placed in your bowl or cauldron. Okay, so thank you for joining me on sewing, and I wish you all a blessed sewing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, brightest blessings, and namaste. Let's have a quick look at the altar before we go. So they're the sewing candles burning.